Hello, rodeo fans. Welcome to episode 2 of the Half Point, an extension of the Short Round podcast, the official podcast of Canadian Professional Rodeo. I'm your host, Wacey Anderson, once again joined by my pal Clay Creasy. And Clay, Canada Day weekend has come and gone. It has been a whirlwind or a whirlwind, or some people who like the comedic side of it would say, but it was a heck of a weekend of rodeo north of the border. Some contestants walked away with huge checks, and we had action all over basically Western Canada.
Yeah, again, a lot of rodeos going on that whole week. Again,
I
starting
guess it
off
really
with Fort
starts. It really
McLeod
starts in
and
Sundre, and we did recap Sundre and Wainwright, but it basically kicks
yeah,
off there, and then rolls right into Sundre, Wainwright, Bassano, High River, Fort McLeod, Ponoka, Airdrie, uh, where I'm blanking out with the rest of them.
Raymond and Williams Lake.
Raymond,
Yeah.
Williams Lake. Yes, exactly. So, anyways, like it's been a heck of a week.
Yeah, no, for sure. And again, some big moments. Again, Panoka casts a big shadow over things for us. But again, there's a lot that happens throughout and again, some of those other moments are gonna really hit for some guys
Mhm.
and girls at the end of the season, right? Again, it doesn't always end up being your biggest moments. It's some of the time you think back and you think, man, if it wouldn't have been for that check,
Yeah,
I'd have been on the outside.
yeah.
So yeah, there's a
Well, and
lot
then
that happened.
Well, let's jump right into it, Clay. I know, like we kind of we did a recap of the Longo heading into championships Monday. We Everybody knows who won Ponoka at this point, but let's get into some of the money earning side of things. I want to start in the tie down roping. I think that's kind of the biggest story from the weekend. Haven Medjed, the world champ, reigning Canadian champ, pulls nearly $26,000 out of Ponoka and Williams Lake, which is, and like hats off to those two rodeos, like two SMS Pro Tour rodeos that paid out a ton of money. And like that, all 26,000 that counts towards the Canadian standings, the PRC or world standings. So that's going to be some big moves for Haven.
For sure. I mean, again, he rode consistent all through Panoka. I mean, last guy out in that showdown round, and you just knew it was coming.
Mhm.
And again, I mean, roped that calf sharp, ran down there, and I mean, just for a guy who's roped enough calves over the years to see him roll down there and flank that thing and just boom,
Oh
it's
man,
done. Like he
he's
just nailed it.
he's on a mission, man. It's like seeing him rope a few times now this year, and he just like always is pushing the pace. Like he didn't need to be that fast in the showdown round in Ponoka, but he still just had to like throw that gauntlet down and just show everybody that he's the champ and he's here to kind of continue that down that path. It was the tie down roping was exceptional. I was and like again we talk about the casting the shadow, but I was in Pinoca all week and even in the Longo you saw a bunch of eight flats, a bunch of like sub nine runs. It was you had to be pretty quick to get the Longo money.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's tough roping. Again, he didn't blow him away, but he was just in there the whole way through. And
Mhm.
again, a lot of guys made a lot of good runs, but at the end of it all, that consistency and again that final stamp to just show, yeah, I'm taking this.
Yeah, oh man, it's so impressive. So let's move on to the bareback riding. I thought it was kind of one of in my opinion, one of the more exciting events throughout the weekend. We saw some really big rides. I shouldn't say the most exciting because there was big rides across all the rough stock side of things, but we had some. Just looking at these numbers you put together here, we got Oren Larson with 11,000 on the weekend. We got Richie Champion with nearly 17,000. We got Western Timmerman, a rookie, with like almost 15,000. Like that's like such a like large amounts of money in to make in one weekend.
For sure, yeah. Oren ran into a little bit of trouble there in the showdown that
The old
oh
disco
shoot,
party had a
this
heck of a day.
disco party
Yeah.
really just kind of got to him there, which is too bad. I was pretty excited about that matchup, and I
He
hope he's
missed
doing
that
all
first
right.
spur lick, man. If he had, I was talking about with Lane Peterson about that after. Had he not spurred over her neck right out the bat there, that would have been a completely different ride. But that's
For
that's
sure.
rodeoing.
Yeah, that horse, just like her mom, uh, Lunatic Party has just gotten so much better and better here. That's a heck of a horse, and
Mhm.
just continuing to. The bigger she gets, the more kick she's given, and again, that was a heck of a day.
Oh, it was that showdown round in the bareback riding was great. I think it was 80, 88, there's 89, 87s, and then a 90 to win it. It was so impressive. And hats off to Western Timmerman for getting old Agent Link Snap. She's been exceptional this year. And he to steal a line from Brett Gardner, he rode it for 8 seconds and not a second more, and it was a hell of a bareback ride.
Yeah, that again, Agent Links is just everything you'd want and more. I mean, there's a whole lot of horse there and there's a whole lot of power and timing, but you use it and yeah, you that moment you think, woo, bam, that's that.
Oh, it was awesome. The bareback riding was great part of the weekend in Ponoka and across Canada at our events. But anyways, let's go to steer wrestling. It's kind of, I would say, the most parody of the weekend, you could say. We have Cody Cassidy and Dalton Massey winning both over $20,000, a difference of a few $100 here and there, but pretty cool to have two guys walk away with that much cash in the same event.
For sure. And again, that showdown round, it was close. I mean, Cody had a chance there. I think he
Mhm.
threw a really good steer in the showdown round, was just a little farther down the arena, but Dalton again bulldogged well. Cody had bulldogged well the whole weekend. I mean, those two are riding the top two horses in the world between
Mhm.
Tyson and Eddie there. I mean, those two horses, I mean, you can put them against anybody all over North America.
Yeah.
And again, guys are coming from all over to ride those horses. So you know that they work everywhere because I
hmm
mean, it doesn't matter if it's CFR, NFR, or that long score in Pinoca. Those are the horses you want, and they showed up again.
Yeah, and there's a reason why everybody wants to ride those horses, and it pays off. And I guess we shouldn't fail to mention that Dalton also won Reno the night before he won Ponoka, so that's a big weekend for old Dalton.
Well, and I think he's leading St. Paul right now too.
He's
Like
just on a heater.
he's on a heater. Like, why not during Cowboy
Oh,
Christmas?
the
There's
best
money
time.
everywhere you go. So it's yeah, he is rolling
It's going to be interesting to see at by the end of Cowboy Christmas, or even after, say after TP Creek, what the final total is for people, what they've won. Both up in Canada and down in the US. I think we could see some like record-breaking Cowboy Christmas earnings across the board.
for sure. Yeah, there's been some people hoarding some checks there for sure.
Yeah. Well, then let's move into the saddle mark riding. I think it was, especially in Ponoka, it was a bit of a surprise to not have Zeke Thurston win after being matched up with Wild Cherry, and it was just one of those things the way it all worked out. But the rookie Zach Dallas, he gets his second big win in Canada in a matter of weeks. Talk a bit about what you saw to Zach.
Yeah, again, I mean, won the long round there, made an exceptional ride, and
Shout
again
out to the
rode
shout
good.
out to Primetime Rodeo for that horse. That horse was cool. I think we talked about it a little bit before,
Yeah,
but
Enigma there again. Jimmy's got lots that are just fantastic, and that one was no exception for sure. And I mean, yeah, Zach had it was kind of interesting there in that finals where he was 86, but he got a rewrite option there, and I couldn't quite figure out exactly what it was. He turned it down and then ended up that left Zeke winning the average
Mhm, mhm.
out of the long round and the short round. But then yeah, again, him matched up with Tokyo Bubbles there, just again another great snappy horse, great ride. I mean that young guy, he's a rookie, but he sure doesn't ride like it.
No.
He's shown up and again, Wild Cherry again, it can be a tough matchup. I mean, you want that to be the one to win it on, but it doesn't always work. I
No.
know it's a lot, and I mean he left hard there and jumped at the gate and just kind of had a little bit of trouble there for Zeke to start,
Mhm.
and it
Yeah,
was
Zeke
just
had Zeke
enough
had
to
all he could handle
separate.
there at the beginning before he kind of found his feet, hey.
Yeah, no, and that horse just leaves so hard that
hmm
yeah, if it doesn't quite work, and again, if he jumps at the gate or the timing's off, I mean, there was a couple of times I was watching there because they always run that silent gate on Wild Cherry where they
Yeah,
got the
yeah.
rope on it, and I mean, he was pushing on that corner, and I thought it was going to pop a few times. So I mean, you've got that in the back of your mind, and I know it's Zeke, and he knows how to handle all of that stuff, but there's a lot of things happening in the lead
Yeah.
up to that gate opening.
Yeah, a lot of moving parts in that deal. Okay, let's jump to the ladies barrel racing, Clay. It was pretty cool to see two-time world champ Lindsay Sears back in the mix and winning some money and putting down some good runs. And then once again, Emily Basil, the queen of Ponoka, put down some really great runs throughout the week as well.
Yeah, I mean, again, Lindsay, it was so cool seeing her come up here. I was watching that perf, and it was that rainy day.
Mhm.
And Dr. Phillips said, I don't think we're going to see many that are going to push the score, and Lindsay was the first barrel racer out. And I mean, she made an incredible run given the
Yeah.
circumstances. And then I was like, and now it's Angie Metters. It was like, holy, this is a flashback. And turns out Angie was kind of the driving force to get Lindsay to go.
Hmm. Hmm.
And yeah, she just kept making good runs and kept pushing her way through there and
When
made it work
she was
there.
first one out in the showdown round, and she put down that it was 15:47, I think was the run that she won with.
Yeah,
Yeah,
1747, which
yeah, 17:47,
yeah,
and I said I was standing beside a couple other people. I was like, that's nobody's touching her for the rest of the day because you have to like it's one of those things where I feel like in that showdown round, I feel like you want to be clean and you have to be clean, but I think that maybe that's in the back of some of those girls' minds and they aren't really pushing the pace as much as they would be, say, in maybe the long go or short go.
yeah, and it's tough to say. I mean, that ground, it was still really good, but I almost wonder if it got a little heavy there
Hmm.
towards the end of the day and everything. Because again, we didn't quite see the blistering times that we saw from some of them. And again, it's second run of the day for a barrel horse, which you always got to factor in. And I mean that horse that she's riding, that Mojo, I mean, he hasn't been making a lot of runs, but
Hmm.
again, he's a son out of Martha. He
Championship
knows
bloodlines
how
right
to win. Yeah,
there.
there's
Yeah.
lineage there that's really working.
Did you find it interesting that Emily Beisel didn't run Chongo? That's her good horse's name in the
Yeah, the
showdown.
fact that I think it's incredible that she ran the exact same time in the long round and the 12 round on two different horses.
Yeah, that's crazy, hey?
It is just it's mind-boggling, and it just goes to show how handy she is
Oh,
to
totally.
be able to navigate two horses. And I can't confirm, but I almost think that one goes one way and the other goes the other.
Oh, I'd have to look back. I didn't
Because
pay
I
that
was
close enough
pretty sure
attention.
that
Yeah.
that brown horse, she takes him to the left. So I mean, to completely switch your mind frame around like that at that big rodeo is
Yeah.
is
And a lot of money
kudos
on the
to
line. Yeah.
yeah. So no, it's and that Helen lied there. I saw she's again scorching arena runs down south as well. Like
Oh, yeah.
she's just scorching those patterns up and down. I mean, again, anytime you're running close to that 17-0 on those regulation patterns, like that's
Damn, yeah.
blistering.
It's funny. It's funny just how things work once people get on a roll, especially this time of year. Like we talked about Dalton, and I'm sure Hal's going to continue to ride this wave, and I'm sure Emily's going to keep riding it. It's fun to see when you have a whole lot of people firing on all cylinders this time of year. But let's jump to the team rope, and the team rope was really great in Pinocchio this year. There was some really good runs in the showdown round. Um, Caleb Driggers and Junior Nogata put together like I thought that the heel loop that Junior threw in the showdown round has to be go down as one of the top five heel loops ever thrown, I would have to say. It was insane.
It was pretty cool, and I saw a picture that Carly Boris had posted on her Facebook, and it was just perfect because I mean his hand is on the left cheek of that horse.
Hmm.
I mean, he had to go completely over top of that horse's head to make that loop work and to win that rodeo with that kind of show. And again, that setup is tricky to
Oh
for a
man.
header to get set up and for the heeler to be in the right spot. And yeah, that was just an incredible run.
It'd be tough to get a consistent handle for as a header, like just because you're probably throwing a lot of rope and you're going so fast, and that fence comes up quick too, like on that corner. So a lot of different factors there
Yeah.
as a header. Another
Yeah.
team to shout out to is Dustin Bird and Jeremy Bueller. They walked away with nearly $20,000 in the weekend, pulling a big check out of Panoka and Williams Lake. I think those two guys are kind of a dark horse team. I've always been a fan of Dustin Bird. I went to one of his roping clinics like back in the day, and then Jeremy Bueller is like one of the biggest beauties going down the road right now. So it's cool to see those guys having success and finding their stride.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Dustin Bird, there's very few guys that are wanting to throw the rope that quick. And I think there was a barrier helper in Raymond that kind of figured that out a little too closely here the other day. But
Oh yeah,
uh,
I forgot about that video. That's funny.
kudos to Cowboy Cole for sharing that to the world. But
I'll overlay
yeah,
that for the people who watch on YouTube.
I mean, Jeremy Bueller, after years with roping with Levi Simpson, another guy who knows how to throw rope. I mean, Jeremy, you sometimes you see those partnerships that work so well where you got that one guy that's that
Hmm.
burner and you got that other guy that knows how to handle the percentages and to deal with the situations that you're then facing. And again, he's a winner. He's won everywhere and everything that you can possibly win. And you just know he knows how to handle those
Hmm.
situations. And again, it was so tight there in that 4 round.
Oh
Like
man,
there's
it was
just
great.
a couple of tenths between all those teams, and
Yeah.
just tough roping for sure.
And even just looking through the results, man, like outside of the two teams we just talked of, like the team opens like really tough this year. You got to be like in the fours and five, like low fives to be in the top three or four to get to catch a check anywhere.
For sure. And there's I know we kind of centralize on a few teams here. Talking about wicked heel shots, I saw Calgary Smith had a pretty wild one down south here the other day off a steer that bounced and rolled and then
Wow.
jumped up. But yeah, there's a ton of Canadians that are just they're picking away everywhere up here and down south,
Hmm.
making big checks at rodeos, jackpots, and yeah, so many of them that you can talk about, whether it's Logan Spady and Cash Bonnet or Levi Simpson and that Logan Cullen or Colton
Hmm.
Schmidt and Landon Glenn, like those guys
What
are
even
all
Joe Beeve and his partner, that Levi
for
Pedigree man,
sure.
they're gonna be and they're pushing for the CFR. That's gonna be a tough team to beat.
Absolutely. Again, you talk about somebody who knows how to win.
Yeah, yeah.
Back the beef in a corner. He knows what to do.
Yeah, he comes out swinging.
Yeah,
So let's move into the ladies breakaway. Ponoka didn't have ladies breakaway, so the checks obviously aren't as big, but Jesse Everett picked up 5,400 bucks on the weekend. Lakota Bird had a good weekend as well, picking up 2,200 bucks, and that's gonna move some needles for these gals in the standings.
for sure. Know that Jesse Everett, I mean, she won Williams Lake, won Fort McLeod. She won 9 in Fort McLeod,
Wow.
placed at Raymond. So, I mean, 3 out of 4 big checks there. Again, that's when you don't have that big hit out of Panoka that kind of draws so much of the attention away.
Hmm.
Yeah, like that's still a $5,400 weekend in the breakaway rope, and
Not
that's
bad at
that's
all.
something.
Yeah,
And
any other weekend, that's like probably one of the leading money earners on the weekend, just for the way the chips fall. But no, it's the breakaway open up here. It's as strong as ever, and it's fun to see those quick times. I skipped over the part where she's won 9 somewhere. So kudos to Jessie. That's not an easy feat by any means. Um,
yeah,
anyways, let's jump into the bull riding. So in Panoka, too bad there was no rides in the showdown round, but like it was. I would say this has got to be one of the first years in a long time where they had more than enough rides to fill the whole short go.
for sure. Yeah, seeing on that final day enough rides to bump guys out
Hmm.
was something else. And then, like you say, to have 4 rides in that 12 rounds so that you're not trying to just roll somebody in
Yeah.
from the long round and everything. And I mean, yeah, the matchups in that short round, I was really pulling for Jared
Oh,
there. I
I
mean, you
know.
were that bull. I mean, he
He
earned
bucked. He
that
was.
bull Pinoca for a reason. I mean, he was the chosen one, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, no,
I
like
mean,
I would say the most rider friendly one in the whole group would have been the one that Chase Dodery got on, and he had a good week too. He won nearly 9,000, but he just must have just got comfortable or waiting on the whistle and blew his hand,
yeah.
and just like I think he probably felt was seeing dollar signs as he was riding them. But um otherwise, like Blue Magic had a really good day.
Oh,
Rosen
yeah.
had an outstanding day. I'm blanking on the bull that Nick got on his name, but he had an outstanding day as well. I'd have to look back at the draw, but apologies for that. But even and to say that, like the bull that Chase had, he was really good too. He just probably would have been the more rider friendly out of that whole bunch, looking back.
For sure. Yeah. It really seemed like, whoo, yeah, we got this one covered. He's got him going.
Yeah.
And it was kind of sudden all of a sudden. And I mean, it seemed like it had been long enough, but shoot, it was. But I mean, in a moment like that, and when you're in Panoka, the Vold name rung true there. I mean,
Hmm.
Hanson, that guy knows how to raise him. He knows how to bring him up
Oh
and
yeah.
season him. And I mean, kudos to that guy. I mean, there's
He's the
very
best
few
best in the
guys.
biz, man. Best in the biz up here for
Oh,
sure, man. By far.
yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, he's packing bulls for 2 outfits. Like
Yeah, yeah.
that's unheard of to think
Yeah.
of.
No, it's
And I mean filling them out well.
oh,
So
it's
it was
great.
it was good watching and yeah, I mean Jared, didn't get that showdown round check, but still won Williams Lake. So again, finishes that weekend with close to 17,000. And I know he's not looking to push for that NFR. Kids around, it's just about having fun, staying close to home, but you
Yeah,
still are always
you can,
happy.
if he keeps winning at this rate and he picks up another big check at the Calgary Stampede, he's gonna have to be making some decisions though, because like he's gonna be damn close to that top 15 in the world. So, and I mean, if he gets to that position again, there's no reason to say that he can't just stay up here and try and make a push for it. There's enough money to be won.
Yeah, oh for
And
sure.
some of the
It's
Northwest, like Extreme Bowls and those like end of the season rodeos, but other than that, you can stay pretty much close to home.
Yeah, no, and it's similar to that situation Scotty Gunther found himself in last year,
Yeah, yeah.
where wins wins Calgary, and then everybody's like, "So are you going? Are you going? Like, you gonna go south?" And I know this year he is going down to the NFR Open as well as
Mhm.
Calgary. So, and he has ventured down. He went down to a couple of the winter rodeos and everything, but again, the family ties and everything like that, and with as much money as there is to win up here without having to cross the border,
Mhm.
sometimes it's just easy enough to say, you know what, I don't need to
Yeah.
chase dimes over dollars kind of thing.
Well, and so I think that's gonna wrap up our kind of recap of last weekend. You mentioned the NFR Open, so I kind of want to get into our next segment of this show of kind of previewing what's to come. But I want to starting with the NFR Open. So it's gonna be most of the people who won the Maple Leaf Circuit Finals will be attending there. I think there's a few fill-ins for people who aren't properly qualified, people who can't make it, but the NFR Open happens middle of next week. I don't know the exact dates. I feel I should have prepared better for this, but there's a ton of money added, and again for a guy like Scott Gunther, that can move like that could be changed like big changes in the standings for him.
Oh, for sure. Again, like I said, if again he repeats at Calgary and has a big
Mhm.
NFR Open, that those two combined with the season he's having up here, that gets him even closer or
Yeah.
probably within the top 15 after that weekend's done. And it's a bit of travel to get from Colorado Saturday night back to Calgary for the short round on Sunday. But if you got that money in your pocket, you can afford that flight. And hopefully WestJet will get you there.
Yeah, you can't trust those guys these days. That's too bad to hear some of the people who got I saw Tanner Haas couldn't get back in time for the showdown in
Yeah,
Manitoba and yeah, it's an unfortunate circumstance of traveling international when you're rodeoing, I guess.
for sure. Yeah, no, it was just one extra hiccup that guys aren't expecting, and you don't know until the moment it happens, and it was just too bad for those guys for sure.
Totally. And so that's going to take us into next weekend, or is this week, this upcoming weekend, sorry. So the July 7th weekend of July 6th and 7th. And the only rodeo we have on the schedule, it kind of lightens up a little bit up here, but because I assume the way that works out is just because it's so busy down south that they don't want to stack our schedule up and like, be competing and not kind of filling everything up. But anyways, the Benalto Stampede, Benalto Pro Rodeo. Oh my gosh, I need to look. Benalto Stampede. That's the proper term. I want to get it right so I don't mess it up. But the Benalto Stampede is coming up this weekend. Um, sorry, my mom just texted me halfway through here. Distracted me. The Benalto Stampede. It's coming up this weekend. It's a really cool event on the schedule. I remember competing there a few times back in the day, and the rodeo grounds is cool. It's a C5 rodeo, so you got good stock coming there. It's just a great spot to go in the middle of July.
For sure, and it's one of those that yeah, it's close enough to Calgary that the Friday nights and the Saturday nights you'll get contestants that'll make that trip up there to get another rodeo under their count.
Mhm.
You again always do a great job. John Beestrom there is the head committee guy, and they make it such a cool little rodeo. I had a bit of success there over the years,
Mhm.
and I know my brother did as well. And yeah, it is just it's one of those fun ones on the schedule. I mean, I can remember going all night from a rodeo in Washington to get back there the next day, and it was worth it. It was a
Mhm.
good little rodeo. And I remember another time where I sat in my saddle. I had we'd actually with the rodeo in Coronation for a while, it had been moved to that same weekend just because again,
Mhm.
it did work well, but weather didn't work out after a couple years in Coronation again, and it got moved. But yeah, broke a saddle in Coronation, didn't know it, rode my horse there, and then the next morning go to sit in it in Benalto and was like,
Oh, that don't
Well,
feel right.
that's not how that's supposed to be. But
Oh, that's
yeah,
good.
so
Yeah, I'm just cruising through the draw here. It's cool to see some big names entered. Like you got Shad Mayfield, Bo Cooper, and the tie down rope in. Who else did I see? Uh, geez, one sec. The bull riding stacked up. There's like 13 guys or 10 guys per day, pretty much. That's a lot of bull riders entered. Who else we got in here? We got Lucas Moxa. He's there. Canadian, number one in Canada right now. I guess that might change after the next update. I don't know how far away Zeke was from him. But anyways, like I said, Dalton Massey's in the draw, so hopefully these guys can make it up here for it. But it's gonna be a great rodeo this weekend.
for sure, yeah, and shout out to Bo Cooper there. I saw he just set the arena record in
Yes,
St. Paul
good
here.
call out. Yes.
So yes, again, I was in Stettler today. I didn't run into his mom in Stettler this time. I have in previous days and everything, but yeah, no, I'll say Stettler was really busy today. They've got their big youth rodeo going on this weekend and everything, but yeah, no, again, it's good to see Bo. I was checking. I mean, before this last weekend, he wasn't that far out of the
Hmm.
NFR, and again, haven't seen where all the dollars are at. I know he's picking up checks kind of here and there,
Hmm.
and it's one of those where you don't really know where guys are at until yeah, that middle of July after Calgary's
Yeah,
done,
it's
and
got to
then
settle,
kind of
have everything settle in, and I'm sure he's gonna be hungry to defend his title at Calgary too. There's some big money there, and I feel like Bo's that type of guy who rolls in there wanting to prove himself once again. So, I think that's about it, Clay. I don't know if you got anything else. I'm out of stuff. I'm tired. I need to go to bed. It's been a crazy few weeks.
yeah, no, for sure. Again, that post Panoka letdown is,
Oh
I
man,
can imagine, especially for you, boots on the ground the whole time, and then
yeah.
bull busting it. It's tough.
Yeah, we're heading to Seattle tomorrow. I'm doing a Cowboy Christmas vacation. We're gonna head to watch the Jays and Mariners for a few days and then back to Calgary Tuesday for the Stampede and all the fun stuff that awaits us there. So the light at the end of my Cowboy Christmas tunnel is there and I can't wait for it to like hide out for like 3 days and sleep. So I'm looking forward to that moment.
Sounds good.
Right on,
Well,
buddy.
have
Cool.
fun, and hopefully the Jays play all right
Oh, I
for you.
know. Yeah, they're in a bad way, those boys, but hopefully for us, they pull it out. But anyways, Clay, I appreciate the time tonight, man, and we'll catch up with you next week for episode G17 of the short round. I guess is coming up next.
Mhm.
Right on. Cool. Well, this has been episode 2 of the Half Point, and we'll catch you all, I guess, in a little over the week. Thanks for listening.